Welcome back to another podcast. I'm your host, Victor, and my co-host, Mark. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Just after talking about over an hour about Avatar,
And throat struggling a little bit.
Yeah. But it's good though. It's fine because I love talking about anime. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, is it anime? I'm like, damn, it damn near should be at this point.
It is, yeah. There's no way when you have a community like that, it's cartoon. They have like the things that they have going on in the show. It's a lot more advanced than just regular, just dumb nonsense that you see on regular cartoons.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a manga, so like real nerds would be like, oh, it's not a real anime if it's not based off of a manga. But that's.
Do you like the show?
Yeah.
Is it one of your favorite shows? Like,
absolutely.
Okay, I'll say it's an anime. Like, there's no way you'll say, oh yeah, there's no way being a grown like man like us and telling people like, oh yeah, like Avatar was just like a really just kind of cool little cartoon. Like you can't say that. There's no way you're gonna put it on the level of like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that like it's for all age groups. It's one of those things that like Pixar does really well, or like you see like Adventure Time or like regular show.
Exactly.
Where it's like you could any age group to sit down. It's like, oh, that's the show you sit down with your kids and you're like, hold up, like I low-key fuck with this.
Like there's no way you'll put that in a low tier category and just be like, it's whatever.
Last year I went to like there was like an orchestra playing like Avatar music. That joint was so fire, bro.
Oh yeah.
I'll for sure do something like that again. They had one for Sonic, and the Naruto one's coming up like I think next month.
Oh yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Avatar again for another hour. Mark, I got some things I want to get off my chest, but I don't know if there's something you want to talk about. If not, I'll just go on.
Okay. I thought there was something I should talk about the way you presented it. I was like, no. You want to say something first?
I was saying if there's anything in the world that you want to talk about before I bring up things that I want to talk about. The floor is yours.
Honestly, no, not that I can think of.
Okay. The French want the Statue of Liberty back, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
They want to take it back.
Honestly, they can have it. I mean, honestly, they can have it. I don't really have an issue with it. If they want to take it, to be honest, if you could take it tomorrow, I honestly wouldn't have a problem with it.
Do you think for one second that Trump is going to let the French take the Statue of Liberty?
I mean, you're right. He probably won't, but
You're crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It's just me personally. I'm just like, have I been on the Statue of Liberty? No. Low-key, I can't remember because like part of me wants to say when I was really younger, I'd had somebody in my family, my dad's side, who lived in New York, and they like also, were able to like go and take their time. That was a little weird.
Yeah. Has some spectators.
Yeah. But somebody lived in New York from my family, and we went over there a couple times, and I just can't remember whether or not we took a trip to go on the Statue of Liberty, but I want to say no. So have I went on there? Probably not. Would I miss it though? It's like one of those things where I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I saw it as a kid on some binoculars because they had him there at some point. It wasn't on it, but like from a distance, wherever. I was very young. The only remember is like I stepped on it and then I put a quarter in and I saw it.
Yeah.
And then I went to see it last year in like October, and like they block it off now.
What?
Like to watch, like if there's like like if you go down to where the ferry is, where like the Statue of Liberty is near, you can go down to that area. And there's like a line that you can go to and like hop on the boat and like see it when you drive past. But I guess because like capitalism, they build up this tall ass wall, so you can't just walk up to where that line, where that edge is at.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Like literally where there's a railing and then like the water's right there. And they basically like that, like what you see on the wall right there, and it's like where you would normally see, like if you were just standing on land without getting on the boat, you could have a great photo of it. They blocked it off, so you have to get on the ferry to go see it. And
in my head, this is how I perceived what you were talking about. You said they put a wall, and I thought you meant like they put a wall covering up the statue.
No, like just
dumb far. And
just
I was
basically like,
dang, man.
If you were to just go down to the park just right off of
now
it,
I understand.
You could easily see it there, and they just like put up something there so you can't see it.
Yeah, that's so.
And I'm like, it's not.
Yeah, bro. They could take it.
Yeah.
If I can't see it freely, which is supposed to represent
liberty,
freedom, then y'all can take it. I don't care. I don't want it here anyway. Then.
Do I think they'll actually take it? No. But France was like, essentially like the prime. I don't know what they have. The head Frenchman was like, "Yo, give it back. We gave it to y'all as a gift."
That's kind of wild. Give it back.
I mean, that's not his exact words. I don't speak French.
Okay.
But he was essentially saying like, we want it back. We gave it to you as a gift, all those years ago after the war. because you stood like your whole country's essence was like freedom and acceptance of people who are different and allowing everybody to be free. And you guys no longer stand for that. We want the statue back.
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, and I wholeheartedly agree with that.
That's kind of hard to say that with their chest. Like, I agree. I'm like, we.
Yeah, like, we take the statue back.
Yeah, like I'm fine. Yeah, I agree. I'm on their side. That's pretty hard. Yeah, no, I agree.
So yeah, I don't know how like truthful that is. I haven't heard Trump say anything about it.
I mean, if he has to say anything about it, it's not him thinking of it. I mean, they'll give him a script and he'll literally look at it and say,
fuck you.
Yeah, probably, bro. Oh man,
because I don't even like the French. You can take your baguettes and shove it up your ass. Say something like that.
Probably.
I don't even like snails.
Yeah, he'll think of something just that sounds so like, I guess, racist.
Yeah, but I thought that was interesting. I wholeheartedly agree with what they said and like the reason they say it. And I'm like, yo, like facts though. Like, give it back. Do I think they would take it? No, because they're French. The minute that like anybody flexes anything, they're probably like, oh, y'all can keep it. Because the French has never really been the type to be like.
Also, yeah, it's just like.
Be about that action.
I don't get how it would even happen. Like, honestly.
Same way it got put there. Just take it down or blow it up.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess.
But legit, we would get drafted if that was like a possibility.
That's what I'm
like
saying,
we would be in a boot camp like by next month if Trump was like really like, yo, like if you want it, like you have to take it on my dead hands, like, or not my dead hands, but like my people's dead hands, and that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, like Lord Farquaad.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. That happened last night, and then this morning, Conor McGregor was at the White House talking about immigration in Ireland. It was like there's all these people immigrating to Ireland, and then
when was this?
This morning. The French thing was last night.
That makes sense though, because it's St. Patrick's Day, I guess.
Yeah, true. I didn't think about that, but also like, what the fuck? Like, why is that our problem?
No, you're right. Exactly. It's not, but because of this holiday probably, and because of him, and because of every controversy that goes on with him.
And why is he the main?
That's what I'm saying.
Why is he the main Irishman? Like, he's the worst.
It's like the same thing.
Bro's got a rape charge here.
Exactly, and it's the same thing that.
So does our president.
Yeah, and it's the same thing of how I think of like, oh, like why is like Kanye given a platform? Because we know that he's just. Yeah. Of his record, we know of like what he is, and it's the same thing with Conor McGregor. They know like clearly he's just this like he shouldn't be. He's not the best candidate, but because he brings views and attention, they're like, yeah, let's get this guy up here.
Despite all that, Kanye has not sat in a presidential booth yet, which I'm surprised because he walked around with a MAGA hat.
Yeah,
but like that'd be hilarious. But I think they know better than put Kanye on a presidential mic.
I mean,
just snapping.
Honestly,
but like, why is like we're. Like, I know that we have our toes in other people's business, even though I don't think we should be for the most part. I get we have allies, and like to a certain extent, I don't think we should as much as we do. Like, you know, giving out money to and aid to a bunch of other nations that probably don't need it or are on the wrong side of the issue, or just, you know, like we should be putting a lot of our focus more towards our own nation because it's falling apart and crumbling as we speak. So like in that sense, and I don't think Ireland, as far as I know, I don't know much about Irish politics, but I feel like Ireland's doing all right on their own and they could probably handle their own issues. So why are you coming here onto a US platform talking about why people immigrating to Ireland is becoming an issue and Ireland doesn't look like Ireland anymore because there's more immigrants than there are Irish people. And that's kind of, I mean, I get why you kind of agree with that because Trump is like, yo, that's what I'm saying about here, y'all. There's not enough white people walking around anymore.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's probably true.
But that's like, what do you want us to do here? You want us to pull up on Ireland? Like, we're not going to do that. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
You could have picked anything else to talk about.
What would be the point? Like, what would be the like process?
You want to send them here? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Just do what we're doing. We're sending a bunch of people.
Was
even
there
if
any updates with that whole like that idea Trump had?
Nothing yet. He brought it up again, I think, at one point, but I didn't see anything further. I mean, we know it was never going to actually be a thing, but
it's just a little wild.
Yeah. So that was one thing. But yeah, if that'd be like, I do not see it happening, obviously, but that would be hilarious if imagine you like, especially the city of New York, which like so much of them have that stuff like on merch or like that's such a part of their identity.
True.
To just lose Lady Liberty.
I just picture
what is Liberty Mutual's gonna do?
True. What is the ostrich? Oh my gosh, bro, it's out of business. I'm just picturing like you just wake up one day and all you see is just like, because I know this isn't how they will take it down, but this is just in my head.
Just the base is there and it's just
and it just like, yeah, in my head I just picture just like 5 helicopters just come and just
pick it up and
they just fly off. But then you're just like, well, all right. They're just like, then you just waking up, you just look out your window and it's just
kids on the ferry like, oh look, it's like
yeah, and it's just flying. Like that's how I picture. I know that's not how they'll take it down.
One of the helicopters not even needed, is just holding the French flag.
Yeah.
Just like, we out of here.
Yeah, we got
so
this.
y'all know who did it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't see it happening, but like I agree with what they say as far as like upholding, I guess,
what we stand for.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Sending
makes sense.
people back, doing raids on random people. I see it just more and more. That Canada hates us. They boo us at any chance they get in any events that we have over there. Like during the national anthem, they'll boo us.
Yeah.
Canada's doing tariff wars and China's doing tariff wars with us. They all hate us. It's only raising prices for us, which sucks. I forgot what nation it was, but there's basically there's a body of water that like a lot of our ports go through to ship stuff, and there was like no more U.S. ships are allowed through it. So like that's just more people beefing with us.
Yeah.
Wow. People were freaking. Oh, then the stupid fucking thing that he bought a Tesla, and he was like, oh, because Tesla is like bombing right now, like it's like not doing well. And he like, oh, I bought a Tesla, like and he made this like executive orders, like any vandalism done towards Tesla cars is like act of terrorism. I was like, oh brother, like get off his wiener, like Jesus.
Gosh,
he's not even from here either. Why do we care about why is a South American businessman, billionaire, doing in the Oval Office?
Mm-hmm.
He has no interest and no ties to America whatsoever, except for the fact that he gets money off of us.
Yeah, and he wants to be in office, if anything, just so he can actually have more power over.
I don't think he's an American citizen to be able to be.
No, they said he had an interview. I forget who it was with. They were like, "Oh yeah, like you can't be president."
Yeah,
he was like, I forget what the phrase he used, but it was kind of saying like, "Oh yeah, you're kind of like president. Like, you can kind of be like it, but you never will officially be. You know what I mean? Like you can't officially be it, but you can kind of be like president. In a sense." So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and they got planes. Like we had another one of their ships just blow up in the middle of the sky, and then they still got to go rescue those. Remember that couple we talked, the couple of astronauts that we saw?
Yeah, I saw something on the news
still up
about
there.
that. I saw something on the news that they said they were sending something out though to retrieve.
them
and stuff. Yeah.
But then SpaceX had another ship go up in there and it just blew up, and then all the debris is in the ocean.
Oh, that's great.
What are we doing? I don't understand.
We're just doing anything we want. At this point.
Like
it's kind of just like a sim simulator at this point. We're just like, oh, that, and just doing whatever.
Every day I wake up, I'm like, yeah, like, can he leave, or I don't want these 4 years to just fly by, but like I also don't want to deal with this guy.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that I feel like we should just deal with it now. Just get it out the way. Let's rip it off.
Get him out the way.
Because clearly he's just doing the most, and his time was done 5 years ago, and he's lingering on a little way too long now.
But we're seeing the fruits of it. People still trusting him. Like we said before he even got in here in the first place. It's like, I hope every part of me that I'm wrong, but so far he's been proving me right, proving all of us right, proving the show right, because we talked about it before. Do I want America to do well? Yeah, but do I think he's the guy who's going to help us do it? No. So only time will tell.
Yeah.
Something, I forgot what even made me bring this thought to think of this, but I had this written down and I wanted to talk about it for a while because I had another part of it. It was a 2-part thing, and hopefully it comes back to me during this conversation. But I heard this conversation get brought up on TikTok or something like that, and I just want to see where your thoughts are on it.
Okay.
It's safe to assume that you plan on getting married one day.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
How soon? So I saw that got brought up, and somebody was like, I feel as though that, because people say the divorce rate is a big thing, and somebody brought up the ideas that marriages should be treated similarly to NBA contracts or sports contracts.
Gosh, bro.
So I just want to, huh?
I don't even know where this is gonna go, but I can clearly see that this is gonna go well.
And I thought it was an interesting conversation, and I was like, although do I think that the old version of marriage should go away? No, but I feel like this would be a cool option for some people.
That's why I said it's a draft.
No, not even like that. Like still, I mean, if we want to, but still traditional dating. You date and then you engage, you propose, engagement, and you have your wedding, whatever. But we already have prenups in a sense, so it's kind of a premarital contract.
This is true, yeah.
But the idea of like you get married, but it's with like not a time, but like there's a contract, and the contract has its end. So say it's like, we're gonna get married. It's a 10-year deal, and then you have your marriage. You go through your 10 years, if you have extra conditions in there, whatever. But like, it's more so the idea of like, we both agreed that we are married for the next 10 years. And then towards the end of that 10 years, you decide if you want to renew your contract or not. Okay. And now it kind of gives you that ability of like, some people might have issue with it being a contract. Because somebody's like, oh, like, why? Even with prenups, people are like, oh, like, you're basically like making it that you assume that it's going to end or whatever. Some people take issue with that.
Yeah.
But with the idea of a renewal, it also it's almost like renewing your vows. But also, if you decide not to renew, it's kind of like, you know what? Even Stevens, you keep what you have, I keep what I have. We're going to free agency. And we get to start a lot and find somebody if we want to get married or not.
Okay.
So it's an option. So what are your thoughts? Do you think it could work? Because then if you would decide to renew, it's kind of like, oh, you can celebrate that. It's like, oh, we decide to continue to be married. And you can kind of, make that into a thing.
Yeah, I guess like I understand it, but I think I would still just go back to just the original of how
traditional
how marriage.
Well, I'm saying for some, because like you think about some of the like there are some couples that like you probably would in hindsight probably like they probably should have never gotten married to begin with, or like it was kind of you can kind of see that it was probably not going to work out. So
yeah, I mean, I guess in that sense, yeah, but I don't know. I guess if you're adding in all the other stuff like. If there's like going to be like this whole thing of like who gets what again, like the whole prenup situation, or if you have kids, like I don't know, like when you start adding kids too, it gets a little like confusing. But yeah, if you're adding all that stuff, I guess like it seems like okay to be like, yeah, if there was a contract, because then you just like, okay, no matter what, I know that like once this contract's done, like I just get what my stuff was. Like we already kind of like set in stone, like that's what it is. But then I just think about again, like that whole like pre-notion of just like, okay, it's for 10 years. Like in my head too, like what if it's year 5 and this person just like hates me?
Player option.
And I'm just like, now like I'm still like, not so much because like, yeah, like what if she just like hates me, but I'm in the sense of like, dang, like I'm really trying to make this work, but she's just like, no. And I just spend the next 5
marriages.
And I'm just spending the next 5 years though trapped.
You don't renew. Imagine that but for a lifetime.
But you can still just like end it though, right then and there, in a sense. Like you can
be like, separated, but you can still be legally married.
That's true, but like then you're just kind of dragging that for no reason. Like,
what do you mean?
Like you could be legally married, like you said, and like the other person is just like. I've always found that weird. Don't get me wrong. When somebody's just like, I'm not signing divorce papers, and I'm just like. That I'm always like when I see that I'm like, how does that make sense?
Because like some people won't sign divorce papers,
and it's just crazy to me to think that because that person's like, I just don't like, and that's when they go about the nice way too, and they're just like, I'm not trying to do it, but they're just like, no, I don't know. I've always found that
so people won't accept it or whatever, But it's a thing. It's like it's a whole process, and that's just legally married. That's not even tied into like if it's like a religious marriage, because that's separated.
That's true.
Because some people aren't religious and still get married, but it's still like it's outside of the church. There's just like legally signed marriage license.
Yeah.
But then if you do it within a church with a priest, that's like damn near impossible to get it like taken out. Like even that's like true. There's been like instances of like cheating or like death of spouse, like where the churches be like, nah, like that's for life. Like you cannot annul that.
Yeah.
But if 10 years doesn't, you could do a 5-year contract. You could do a year contract. Or like sports contracts, they'll do. You can sign an NBA player for 5 seasons, but they can have a 3rd-year option. Where then the 3rd year, they can make the decision to continue the rest of the remainder of the contract. Or the team could have an option. That's the thing. It's like you could do a 10-year contract, 5-year option. So if you're 5 years in, you're like, do you want to do the other 5, or you just want to chalk it, or do you want to end that contract and start a new one?
Nah, I still can't do it, man. Because then I'm also thinking like this, like, bro, what if I do this, right? And somebody I know who also wanted my shawty's just like, yo, like that 10 years, like they just plotting the whole time, like, yo, I'm trying to get shawty. Like, oh, you might have her now because you legally with her, but wait till that 5 years is done, bro. I'm right there, and I'm just gonna.
But that's anything.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like,
if that's really your wife and she'll just renew. She'll be like, I don't care if he wants me.
But just imagine some bull being like, yo, what is it, 5, 10 years? Nah, don't worry. I'm gonna be coming for you. I'll just be like, yo, back up.
but that happens now.
that's true. It's just maybe a little weird.
Except they just in your DMs. They're not even waiting for the 5 years. They're like, I'm pinning her up right now.
That's true. Yeah, it's just kind of funny.
That's never gonna go away.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I guess I'm just like, I feel like doing that whole putting a time frame on it is only making it more easier for it to fail. I guess I don't know. That's just in my head.
Yeah. But then, like, and maybe not for all instances, like blanket statement. Like, I'm just saying more so like if it being an option, because then you also can take into consideration like younger marriages. Like you think about like somebody fresh out of high school, 18, oh, I'm going to the military, let's get married. Maybe it could be like an age thing.
I mean,
like, you know how you can't rent a car after 20, like until you're 25?
Yeah.
You can't get into a lifelong marriage until post 25 when your mind's fully developed. If you're under 18, 7-year deal or 5-year deal, 3-year deal.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some people do it just for the benefit of, like, still speaking on the military part, some people do it just for benefits within the military if you're married, because there's like advantages of doing so.
Yeah, I personally just don't even agree with anybody who gets married under the age. Well, I don't agree. I mean, it is a certain age limit for me, and you try to get married, but it's also with me thinking of like how long you've known that person.
Yeah.
Like if you only known that person for not even more than over a year, I'm just like, bro,
Some people are like, sense. You just know. Well, you don't even know them.
Don't know. You don't even know them.
Yeah.
You don't know. So it's just like in my head, when I see that, I'm just like, it could be the best thing in the world, or it could be the worst. Yeah. I'm just like, whatever it is.
High school sweetheart, bro. 4 years. And we've been riding it out. I'm going to the military. Let's get married, baby.
Yeah.
Put a baby in you.
That's wild.
Then there's that part too, where it's like there are certain things like a religious stuff where people are like, oh, wait until marriage, and
yeah,
there are people who get into it just for that purpose. And
that I know. I've had plenty of conversations being at church, and I've heard that so many times too, where that just happens. And one of my friends is just like, if that's all you guys are looking for, she was like, I'd rather you guys just do it. And there's no point of going through all of this just to be like, oh yeah, we're married now, I can do it, and then realize that this wasn't worth it,
and you end up breaking up.
That I understand a little bit, because that's a little dumb.
Yeah, I don't think it should be the only option, but I think it'd be interesting if it was an option. I feel like some people would take part in it.
Of course,
Yeah.
Somebody would do it just for the memes too.
Yeah.
They would literally do a whole like conference thing and be like, yeah, sign the deal.
Like, do you want to get married for a year? Fuck it.
Oh man, that'd be pretty interesting.
I mean, some people do it for freaking green cards and all that crazy. Like, there's like
that, yeah.
So,
and you sometimes even know the intentions behind it. Sometimes it's just like clearly they could like them, but more times than not, it's
for a reason. Yeah. So it just, people are already kind of doing something along those lines. There's already arranged marriages, so like in a way, it kind of already exists in some ways, because there's like standards. Now, if you would really want to get into it, where it's like, oh, you could get like bonuses, or like if you made it really like weird like that, that's too much for me. But yeah, like in some parts of the world, there's already like, oh, if you marry my daughter or whatever, like you get X, Y, and Z, or like those kind of negotiations and things already happen in certain parts of the world for certain marriages. So in a way, you could think about it like it is, but it isn't a thing already. Like I said, like the whole bonus thing, even though it sounds awful it makes such a like spiritual and beautiful emotional thing into like a business agreement, which kind of sucks.
That's the whole thing I'm thinking about. I'm like, I feel like if I was to come to the whole marriage thing, I just feel like it almost will feel like
it's too transactional.
Yeah, like almost like a job. I don't know. I'm just thinking like there's a paper, and then literally there's just bubbles of just like, what do you want?
Yeah,
and I'm just looking. I'm just like, dang.
It's like we're supposed to just love each other.
Yeah,
and like look out for each other.
I'm trying to look at the contract, flipping through like 30 pages and stuff, and legal agreements.
Stipulations.
And I'm like, oh man, sign here. okay, sign here.
Because like in sports contracts, it's like, oh, like, yeah, you get, $10 million contract, $5 million guaranteed, and then $5 million in potential like bonuses if you hit certain landmarks. So it's like, oh, if we buy a house and by this year, X, Y, and Z happen. If we get X amount of kids by this year, whatever. That's when it gets like too weird for me.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was a cool like discussion to have because it was new in a sense. There was something else that I like tried to think of it as, and I feel like I wrote it down in our TikTok group chat, but that was just, I just wanted to spitball with you, see what you thought, see what you felt about it. So you would never in any circumstance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't think I would. I just feel like I said, me getting into thinking like it's a contract will make me think like, okay, like, I don't know, in my own head, I would just always think like, I would just be doing a lot of like self-doubting for myself because I would just think no matter what, even if the person told me like, oh yeah, like don't worry, like yes, I do still love you, like we're gonna go through these 10 years. In my head, I'm just always thinking, I'm like, if anything goes wrong in the relationship, she's just immediately thinking like, gosh,
can't wait for these years.
I can't wait for this 5 years.
But low key, so there's marriages now where it's like, there's like, yo, true. I can't wait till this motherfucker die.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it kind of goes both ways, except there's just a time limit attached to it.
80-year-old couples like, yo, like, I'm waiting on the day, bro. He get on my damn nerves.
Come on, kick the last breath, please.
The other day, he sneezed. I thought it was it.
I was like,
bless you. But no, I found what the other thing that was tied to. I found it in my messages. So I had that thought, and then in the same sense with contracts within sports, there's a thing called a salary cap, which each team is allowed to spend a certain limit of money on players to build their team. If they surpass that, there's a luxury tax, and they get fined for it. You can't surpass a certain number. This isn't attached to marriage anymore, but kind of like in the branch of thinking of sports contracts or NBA contracts, having a salary cap, I think this country should have that. Absolutely. Technically, you could argue that we already do with taxes, but my thought is like, if you make more than, I'm just going to throw a number out, but like if you make more than like $5 million a year, just as an example, it's not like my proposal, but if you make more than $5 million a year, anything that you make surpass that, immediately, like like just all of it just goes towards like, whatever assistance that we could use in the country as a whole. Yeah. So essentially taxes, but clearly the way the taxes are run now, they're not working properly. So if you have guys that are making billions, like cool, you can make your billions, yeah, but like the huge majority of it is going to go towards actually doing things that help the country.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that would be annoying with that, if you're making that amount, is say you're really somebody who's like about wanting to actually help because they don't trust the government to do it themselves. It kind of sucks that you have to give a lot of the money away that you probably wanted to use yourself to help to a person who is just like using it for like stuff that, again, like the whole purpose of the money would be like, oh, so the government does use it to help.
Yeah. Maybe it is, you can like, since it's coming from you, you have every decision to say where it goes.
If that's the case, then yeah.
Which I think we should all be able to do that, period.
Yeah.
I should be able, like if I'm filing my taxes, I should be able to circle what out, like if I wanted to focus, if I want this year all my money to go towards education, charity, like things. If I want to like go send all of my money public school system, or there's too many damn potholes, infrastructure.
That's what I'm going on. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, bro. Let's go on there, bro. These tires, they need help, bro.
Yeah, so that was my thinking, and like obviously, maybe $5 million is too low. I mean, if you want to go higher, but if you can decide where the money goes, then it'd be cool. But there's no reason why anybody should be making billions of dollars. Like that is an obscene amount of money that one person should have. So kind of like counteracting that with just, if you want to make that, cool, you can do that, but it's going to go towards stuff that actually helps people, not for you to be able to make more money. Maybe you can do that strategically with the money that you have, or if you take a loan out, fine. But you're stockpiling way too much money than you actually would ever need. Yeah. Like we're talking about like 20 generations down where you'll never need money ever again. So there has to be some type of like fix up where you can allow people to do, like that can be a thing. And I think it'd be a lot more helpful. Obviously, I'm not an economist. I'm not some super crazy smart political guy, but there's somebody smarter than me out there that can like fine tune this concept and make it better if they wanted to. Now, do they want to? No, because the people that make this amount of money would be affected by this the most. are also in charge, but that's a different discussion. But I thought it was a cool concept. I think it'd be helpful. And yeah, even if like you're like, damn, like what's the point of making all this money? Maybe you do get the credit for it. Like it's a big part where like your name can be on these things, or you get shown like who contributed the most, and that would change a huge perspective on how we view billionaires and people that make this amount of money. Like we found out that like Zuckerberg and all these people that are making like that mad money, they get the credit for like helping why the Philly public school system is like as amazing or an amazing thing, as opposed to right now where it's like people are fighting to get air conditioners in the building. That would change the perception a lot. But right now where it's just you guys are just stockpiling it so Mark Zuckerberg could go to UFC events and learn how to do mixed martial arts, and like Elon is buying our president to do whatever he wants him to. I don't really see that this current system is working, especially when we have to fight every day with politicians for higher tax rates on people that are making billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's a weird system. It makes sense though. You know, I feel like it would definitely help if, you know, all the people making that amount of money was to help us. Yeah. A lot of people argue, would be like, oh, well then get your money up. And it's just like, well, the way the system is now is just, it's impossible. So.
Yeah, and a lot of them didn't in the first place. Like,
that's what I'm saying. A lot of it's generational.
And if you don't want to, like, say if the limit is, again, just an arbitrary number, but 5 million, if you want to stop at 4,900,000, like, cool, you could do that. But, like, that'll be it. Like, it's not, can't do much further than that. But I was just thinking, because I was like, contracts, salary cap, that's the thing. Like, the USA salary cap is whatever. And even if that applied to me, I'd be cool with that. Like, I just think it'd be, you know, we gotta fix some stuff, and we're not doing it. We're fixing a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be even fixed.
This is true. Yep.
Why is it called the Gulf of America now? Why is that where our time and effort is going towards?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's only called that here. If you look at Google Maps in any other country, it still says Gulf of Mexico because Google's like, shut up.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Yeah.
Would you add or remove anything? Do you see any flaws? Do you see any further issues? Are you making more than $5 million a year and you don't like this idea? And you're holding out on me?
Trust me, if I was making that much, you would know. You would instantly know. Trust me. It's
there would be signs.
Yeah, there would be immediate signs, bro. Trust me. I can promise you. There would be a car outside your house. I promise you. There would be no way I would let you be riding around in your Toyota anymore. You can still have it. Do what you want. Trick it out, man. But make it be the Fast and Furious car. I don't care. But I promise you, I'll give you another car. Trust me. There will be plenty of signs, bro. We'd be on trips every day if that was the case. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely flaws in the way our system is now.
But do you think this system, like besides them deciding where the money goes, do you see any other issues with it? Because I'm sure if somebody were to see this and comment, like if I put this on Instagram, they'd probably be mad. People just pissed because Instagram people are ruthless, bro. They'd be angry. They'd be angry at the world, bro.
Yeah,
like this guy doesn't understand how our government works. He's a freaking idiot, Gen Z, liberal, I'm like, all right, bro. I was just throwing out ideas. I was just spitballing here.
True, yeah.
Your president out here doing way worse, and he got the power to do so.
No, man. I agree though. I feel like it should go to like what you want it to. And unfortunately, the way how taxes are, like you said, now it's just terrible. And yeah, I would rather know that like when all my taxes get, like you said, taken out, like, okay, yeah, this is going to go to something I want it to go to, rather than just like, I have no idea. I'm only told what they tell me, which again, is that even true? Yeah.
We should be able to trace like dime for like to the penny where our shit went. Even if you send us back like a report, it's like, yo, like it went to this percent went to this and that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And just tell us how much we owe you. Why am I on TurboTax and H&R Block and all that? Just send me a bill.
True, yo.
Or send me my bread.
Send me a bill. Just put it in big letters. Taxes.
Yeah.
Make it so simple.
The rest of the world does it that way. We're still the only ones that they make us go through all these hula hoops to like give them their money that they want. But if we give them the wrong amount, we go to jail. So if you know the amount and I don't, jail. Why don't you just tell me the amount so I don't have to go to jail?
You pay taxes? Jail.
Yeah, like I get it. The H&R Block and TurboTax are sending you all this money to make sure that they're still a thing, but they don't need to be a thing anymore. Okay?
They don't.
Just release us of these shackles of having to worry about this stuff every year and giving us a deadline and extensions to the deadline and all this other crap, and all these little, not just a W-2, but there's a 1090B
W4.
and a 1095
Yeah.
and a QV6, and I'm in a Elemental P, and I don't want to worry about all that shit.
XQ.
Yeah, so I don't want to like think about that anymore. So fix it, please. If you're not gonna do that, at least let us pick where the money goes. That would make me so much more happy. Even if you don't even listen, lie to me. At least give me the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
At least I'm like, you know what?
Something.
I put my money towards a public school system this
They're
year.
like, psyche thought.
That John went to my trip to Cancun. Fuck out of here. And it's still called the Gulf of America.
right. It don't matter. I'm going to the Gulf of America for vacation.
So, yeah, that was my spitballing for today. Any other ideas you want to throw out there? Any gripes that you want to throw out there?
No, I mean, like, it's so hard because, like, yeah, there's so many things that are just like terrible right now, especially with just like the way things are going on with like immigration and all that stuff. Like, it's just sad to see how all that stuff is being handled and how quickly all that stuff is just like going in, and the amount of people losing their jobs who are trying to help with like people and
even
all that.
Tax people are getting laid off.
Yeah.
Federal agents and stuff. Agencies are getting laid off.
Yeah.
Like government workers are being like, yo, go back to work or you're fired. I think the FBI, they were like, oh, you can, like, if you resign, we'll give you X amount of money. Like, they're just like removing so many people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's a lot going on. A lot of weird stuff. And they're cutting costs, and
Yeah.
Doge is finding all this misuse of money apparently, and whatever. Like, why is he looking at our information? He should not have access to this. Go run Tesla, bro. It's struggling right now. It blew up in front of Trump Towers.
Well, he knows something that we don't, obviously. And he's getting so much help, which is why he doesn't care. Because he knows something's going to switch instantly. So.
Your spaceships, your rockets are flying out of the sky, brother. Go figure that out, please. Even though I don't think you've done any real work at Tesla or SpaceX in a decade, if that. You probably just pull up and be like, oh, what are we doing today? Oh, yeah? Oh, that sounds interesting. Yes. All right, come on, Sea-View, T2T, beep, boop, bop. Let's go.
Let's go. Time to go and make it.
Don't leave my side. I'm going to keep you on my shoulders so I don't get killed.
Come on my side so that way your battery's charged.
Yeah. Oh, we need to get you in the sun. Your solar panels aren't working.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that's it. If you guys think I'm dumb, oh well. But at least I'm thinking of new ideas. I don't know.
Yeah,
what are you doing? Suggest some more ideas, man. Go talk to the good big guy.
Yeah,
Go hit up Elon.
Hit him up.
I was about to say that was a whole other thing. The whole thing where Ukraine and like them yelling at the guy from the prime minister of Ukraine. That was a whole weird situation. And the JD Vance memes, which I don't think you've seen, but they keep editing the vice president's face onto different stuff, has been hilarious.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I'm sick and tired of it. Where can they find you, Mark?
Find me on Instagram, Marky Mark. Yeah, that's really about it, really. Yeah, find me on Instagram, Marky Mark. Victor, where can they find you?
Find me everywhere at ETC Victor. Well, not everywhere anymore. My Instagram's still gone. You can find me on YouTube though at ETC Victor. If you type in at ETC Victor into the search bar, it'll show up, or you can find the link somewhere. I got my Resident Evil series going on. It's mad fun. They showing love to it. I'm gonna play Mortuary Assistant very soon, which Killian's been asking for so long. But yeah, almost at 300 subs. I got a bunch of series popping out. We having fun. We having a great time doing my solo stories. We still doing our Thursday videos of me and Mark playing co-op games. We playing Split Fiction. If you haven't checked that out, go peep that. And yeah, that's it. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Deuce.
Bye.